You want to put them on that way or the other way? I don't either. Go ahead. This reminds me of the smelly patrol car, this one. Okay. Ouch!
Oh.
That's okay. All right, it's okay. Did I piss you off at the thing earlier? It's okay, it's all right. Okay, how about the leg irons?
Oh my God. Wow. Oh, wait. And then you can just, it's too easy, right?
What's too easy?
Oh my God.
Is that okay? You want to put them on? The chain's going to go in the middle. You want to put the chain in the middle.
The chain in the middle.
Yeah, otherwise if you lock it to someone else, that's a whole other act.
Oh, should I put it under yours?
Your call, whatever way you think the most blood. Now you could tie me up differently, you know, there's other systems, but we'll just start. Aha! Oh!
Really? Is it?
I know I'm skinny, but it won't go all the way through. Woohoo, that tickles.
That's cool.
Now the fun thing about doing this and not doing it systematically, like when I was doing the water torture cell, is I don't know how you're going to do it exactly. Now, you guys have 2 extra locks. You want to do anything with them or just leave them? You can do it either way.
You want to do so? Go ahead, go ahead.
She really wants to.
Well, I would have done this totally different. No, you know what? I don't think.
She's like an expert.
There's like, yeah, here, all right. I'll just give you one. How about that? I don't know how you're gonna unlock this stuff. Are you gonna like go into a closet or something? Because there's no way to do this publicly.
Wait.
What did she do?
Wait, let's just stop there. Okay, you guys can sit down. Are you gonna go in a closet or something? So the first thing you want to do is plan ahead. You want to have the tools for the job. So one of the things you want to think about is you want to anticipate that you might get stuck in life, right? You might get stuck, right? Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you might need the tools for the job, right? Are you feeling bad for me?
Yes. That was very nice.
You won't help me, will you?
No, I thought you were gonna break out without a tool.
Oh, no. No, see, what I'm trying to show you is how important it is to realize that you're going to need the resources in order to get things to work, aren't you? So you're going to plan ahead, aren't you?
This is some useful stuff. We should be videoing that up close.
We are.
I want you to think about, you need to plan ahead and actually practice using a tension wrench. You ever notice in the movies they always have one pick?
Yeah.
The crock of crap. How do you turn a lock with just the pick? You know, you can get in there and you can shim the cuff. But how do you do that? So are you willing to learn how to do it before you start?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? Because what other people are going to do is they're going to want to do this.
Yeah.
I know something you don't know. Ask a locksmith how hard it is to do what I just did. But I want you to think about, are you walking around with no tools, locked up, saying, how come I'm stuck?
Right.
Are you? So recognize that it's difficult, isn't it, to want to admit that it's not your personality that's going to make you better. It's not who you are. It's skills, planning, growing, and tools that are going to make you better, isn't it? This will be, I'm not even going to bother that long. So are you willing to consider that when you get done with one, there might be more, there might be others, right? There might be other spots that need work, right? Is that true? So you better like sitting around picking locks for a couple of months if you're going to do this, right? So do you sit around and run and present yourself to everybody like Tigger and not expect that you're going to need to learn or grow or change? You know, how close do you think I've been to some of the lockpicks I know, locksmiths I know? Pretty close. Apparently not close enough.
I'll just slip it down your waist.
That's cheating. I already started. So, understand that you yourself can get this far and get tired and wonder why people are looking at you weird as you meet them. So if you don't have a desire for closure, for completion, you can even get a little spurt here, can't you? And start picking the last one. But what if you just stop here? Okay. Are you willing to define what completion is, what closure is? Are you willing to get all the way through it? Are you willing to finish? Or are you able to feel martyred with every single step? Woe is me, it should be over already. How come I'm not done right now? Why don't I test it here? Or are you willing to get, you know, all the way when you tighten it up and you think it's going to come off, and it doesn't. To done. Are you willing to get done? Or are you going to get stuck in the middle? Because some of you are very proud you can carry chains around. So right here is where the project starts, because you're free to learn. We're not done here. This isn't where we rest. This is the end of the weight loss program where you've lost all your weight. Now is where you start learning. Now is where you start growing. Now is when you start discovering. This isn't the end. This is where the beginning happens to be. And so many people think they're done here. This is the launch pad.
Do you ever get done?
You can get done with a project, you can get closure and completion on a project, but that doesn't mean there's not another project. But I'm asking you to have that feeling that you're willing to finish what you start, to get a point at which you can measure risk and do whatever it takes, to get a point at which you can measure risk and do whatever it takes. And I can tell you that it takes knowing things that are hard to find sometimes. Just finding that process is harder than it might look. Happening to have those things with me is harder than it looks. So, are you willing to, once you know something needs to happen, should happen, are you willing to surrender into maturely accepting that you're going to do whatever it takes? Within a certain value system, you're going to do whatever it takes. Yes? So what are you learning from watching that? What do you do? Where do you stop? Where do you feel the suffering? It's on my leg, it's not fair. Where do you think it's supposed to come off by magic? You're supposed to melt through it. There should be no tools. What are you doing? What are your assumptions? What are your beliefs? What's actually stopping you?
Is it normal to feel like there's a little bit of all of the problems that you have come up, like martyr, denial, all of the different things that you discussed, like, is it normal to feel all of them?
I want you to think about your body when we were playing yesterday, right? Notice I was very calm doing that. It's more important when you're doing rope escapes to be calm. Because the more you struggle, usually you tighten yourself up somewhere and you cut your circulation off somewhere and it's a real drag. Like it's kind of a zen thing to get out of ropes. Actually, I should do this metaphor with ropes, not cuffs, when I think about it. Because you got to be all zen and mellow, you know. When I was talking to you yesterday and we were talking about change, right? This is what happened to you. You look like me when I was in trouble at a church photograph. I wish I could find it. I don't have it with me, but I have a photo of me when I was a little kid when the family was having a church picture taken, and I'm in my little suit with my bow tie, and I swear I'm like this. I got into trouble for something in the car on the way over, and I was just, you know, stressed out of my mind, right? And like when we're going to change something, right, and you're in that moment, what I see that I'm playing with you is your body goes, like you get tight around it. Okay? So the idea that it could be easy or that you're accepted in the middle of it is kind of new, right? Like there's no real big deal, right? Now imagine you felt that, and then what happened next is you got aggrandized and you kicked ass and you succeeded totally and became the head of a team right then. Then all your nervous system would have was superior or feeling stress. So what would you pick then? Superior. What if you felt that tightness, but then what got you loose was giving people sympathy? And you'd have giving people sympathy or feeling stress, when it's supposed to be the whole piano keyboard. So you got to remember, we're building the piano keyboard and we're learning to play it, or we're building this choice matrix and we're using to love them all, but we tend to go either or, two of them, right? So what I'm saying is I'm trying to give you like choice, not two choices. Choice, not even three choices, but three choices is better than two, because then you think, well, there might be more. So if I want to trap somebody into getting better at one thing, I'm going to give them limited choices, either or, neither nor. But if I want somebody to grow infinitely, I'm going to take the idea that there's limited choice away for a while, make them curious a long time in a big way. Yes? It shouldn't feel overwhelming. It should be like, But if you're looking for the right thing to do to get the pressure off of you, then a system will own you, a company will own you, a membership will own you in some way, because you'll find the right thing to do, right? The right thing to do, not the things that work or the things that might be useful, but the right thing to do, right? See the difference? Is this making sense?
Yeah,
So what I'm saying to you is that
I see